technology is going to further terrible experiences, because we're in an amazing time in the period of technology. I've been in technology for 34 years, and never has been there a more exciting period than now. We're at the cusp of a new wave of technological change, and this is an industry characterized by change. We introduce new technologies, they take off, and we've barely caught our breath, and along comes the next wave. And we're in the midlife of this last wave of technology. So I say, for the last 5-7 years, I've been talking smack. Social mobile analytics and cloud. I don't like big data, we'll come back to that in a little bit. But all of these things are coming together now. We've got 1 billion connections, and we're actually at a really pivotal time in these S-curves. The first one is maturing, and the next one is coming in place. The first one is changing, and this is an incredibly dynamic period of time. Now, take what I say with a grain of salt. Everything's always going to happen tomorrow, the way I describe things. And sometimes it's frustratingly slow in the short term. But the amazing thing is, in the interim term, we underestimate things. If 10 years ago I said the internet shuts down, what are we going to do? Go home. You would have said you're crazy. You can pick up the telephone. Kids are amazed today that you can actually make a phone call on that thing they carry around in their pocket. Now we've got a next wave. So what we always do with technology, the first thing we do is what we've always done, we do it faster, better, cheaper. Then we wake up one day and discover there are things we can do now because we've deployed 1 billion cell phones, that we've got 100 million people on Facebook. And now along comes this new wave, the next wave that's going to dominate the next decade. I'll talk about each of these things for about 15 seconds, but we've got the Internet of Things. So everything's connected to the internet. Your refrigerator, the microphone, the speakers in the room, the pieces of art. There are so many things we can do to transform when everything is connected to the internet, and we will get there. Augmented reality. Don't judge this one by Google Glass. This is a blunt instrument. In 1980 or so, I carried a 26-pound computer we called a portable. We're going to get there, and what augmented reality is going to do, it's going to change reality into a rewrite mechanism. Think about that one. And on top of it now, with cognitive computing, we'll be aware of our environmentals. So our systems will respond not to just what we type in at the keyboard, but everything that's going on around us. And what we've got is the collection of whole human knowledge. Right now we've got this thing called big data. It's more and more information. How do we make it actionable and useful, something that understands what we're doing? My son's got a 3D printer, radically transformative. You can make things exactly where you are. You don't need spare parts. The space station, 80% of what's on the ISS is spare parts. It'll be replaced with a 3D printer. And then we've got a battle between the marketers, and everything, advertising everywhere. We, empowered users, are actually going to fight back and seize some of the control. And we're going to flip the relationship. There's something called CRM, Customer Relationship Management. That's how the big companies manage their relationships with us. We're going to manage our relationships with them, and we will take control of the relationship. I probably shouldn't start taking off all my clothing, but the number of electronic devices I've got already, we're going to have it on our wrists, on our eyes, in our ears. Everywhere you can think of, we're going to be connected to the internet. Privacy, that's all I need to say. It doesn't exist. It's even worse than what you think of with PRISM. We've lost our privacy, and we'll get used to living in a radically transparent world. So who are going to be the leaders? Most of them are companies you've never heard of today, because rarely does the leader in one generation transform into the next generation. Maybe we'll get some renaissance. Apple did it, and the question is, can they remain relevant? But we're in this incredibly exciting time. What do you do to get ready? The number of times when I started talking about social mobile cloud, people said, if only I knew what was coming, if I had listened to you then, you can listen to me now. Thank you.